All these garbage remakes are just making me upset, dude. We do not need most of these. And the ones that we want are not being delivered.
A year ago from making this video, I revisited Twilight, which is a weird, guilty pleasure, but it's not really pleasure, but it is, and you feel bad because you like it and you shouldn't because it's cringy as hell, and you're laughing at everybody who's like, Twilight, oh my god, Bella, Jacob. But then when you watch it, you're like crying and laughing and stuff, and then you have to catch yourself because you realize you're actually enjoying it, which makes you hate yourself more. What is wrong with y'all? That's why, yeah, of course the lovemaking scene is the one that's most replayed in this video. See, you caught y'all in 4K.
I don't really like the rain. Any cold, wet thing, I don't really.
But you like them nuts, though. The books are out there. I read the books that were actually better than the movies in terms of the detail it provided. I watched the adaptation first, though, and it was okay. Back when What's-Her-Face was decent looking. I never expected this to get a remake. I don't think it needs to be remade. Well, then again, because it was so freaking weird, I can understand why they want to remake it. What I even further did not expect was it to be remade into an animated whatever this is gonna be. A TV series, oh no. You know, there's two ways about this, because they heard people and they were like, you guys don't like all the live action remakes? How about we take something live action, remake it to be animation, right? That's what y'all said you wanted. That's not what we meant. That's not what we meant, that if you're gonna remake certain 2D stuff, it's okay for them not to be live action and for you to update it based on the animation. But sure, this can work too. Or it might not, depending on who you ask. Jumanji, I would argue, is one of those movies that is pretty iconic. And then I found out they made an animated series after it, and it looked like this.
Me who you are and why you were in the middle of the jungle speaking to that flea-bitten cur.
This place. Are you serious? Ew. Who is this for? Look at this. No, that's why, you know, the same thing I will say. Not everything is meant to be live action. And certainly not everything is meant to be 2D animation in response to live action. Like what? Come on, bro. Like what? Now there are three things I will say really matters when it comes to animated TV shows. I feel like all the iconic scenes that happen in Twilight are only going to be made worse if they don't accomplish this properly. Those three things are going to be the voice acting, the feel of the animated show, and the art style. I will never forgive them for this scene. The line work was just weird. Is he carrying a dummy on his back? Why does it look like, as a vampire that's so powerful, he's carrying somebody that weighs like 2 tons? You can tell it's not even a real person. Look at that. This what in the world? I always thought the scene looks weird. Okay, that's where animation can come in to make stuff like this more believable. But now we have like CGI that's always gonna look fake no matter what you do. It looks worse the more we progress with technology. So it really doesn't matter when it comes to physics and stuff. I'm pretty sure that they can make this work with live action, but it's easier in the animation. But good lord, the art style can kill something. Just like I showed you with Jumanji. People are already having their doubts about this, and I can't blame them, because then who is it being made for? It's already made for young adults and adults, that they can all enjoy it together. So now you're gonna animate it for what, children? And I don't know, it just feels like a lot of modern day animations are just over embellished.
I'm not ready for this. Get it.
I'm not saying there isn't an audience for it, but there's just part of the appeal of the original that can easily be lost on the animated show. And as long as they don't go with these weird ass art styles, then I guess it could work. But the other reason why this just feels so redundant is because don't we already have a Twilight TV show called Vampire Diaries?
Me.
You look,
Dashing, gorgeous, irresistible.
Sorry. Oh, fuck. I don't know what that was.
That was a weird-ass sneeze I just did right there.
Okay.
Anyway, strange ass reaction. The point being that this is not necessary. unnecessary. And even in this article, they state Lionsgate rebooting the Twilight franchise shortly after the film series is unnecessary in and of itself, which I agree with because the movie's already a thing. They're still selling well, people are still coming upon it. Even though some of the scenes are quite kooky, I still think people can enjoy it. And it's already the type of movie that doesn't really require animation because it's the kind of story that, first of all, is more believable and relatable to people being portrayed in live action than it is in an animated thing. Unless, the only thing I will give that I'd be totally on board with is if they made an anime about, oh wait, they already have thousands of those. The question does lie in who really is this for? Why do certain things need to be remade? I could understand if you're remaking something because you want to update it, because certain things that you couldn't accomplish in the older versions of them, now you have the technology to do that, so you remake it. But it's as weird as people remaking a live action Moana only 9 years after we've already had a pretty modern version of an animation. It hasn't even been a full 10 years after Moana, so why are you remaking it into a freaking live action, bro? You know, maybe 20 years ago I can understand because it looks quite dated or something. If it's a movie that was released when maybe your grandparents were alive, I can probably understand that. And I'd still argue against that because most of those movies still stand the test of time. There's something fascinating about watching movies at the time they were released and still being able to enjoy them. I wish somebody would remake Jurassic Park. Watch it lose and miss the marks all completely of what the original had. Jurassic Park still stands very, very well. Now, unless when we got Jurassic Park it looked like this. Why are they using Jurassic Park movie in this music in this clip? See how this looks? I could understand now why people would be like, okay, this is from 1969. We should probably remake this. This looks terrible. In that way, it makes sense why you'd want to remake this for the modern audience. But unless you're making a Twilight series for babies and kids, which I find wildly inappropriate and just useless, I don't see what the point, but they may surprise us, so I think it's futile. I think there's no need for it, a bit redundant in my opinion. I feel like the execs were thinking,
we're running out of live-action remakes to do. Damn it, we can't suck anything else dry. What's the next popular franchise we've got aside from Star Wars?
Twilight,
right? Remake that.
But it's already live action.
Damn it. Alright, remake it to not be live action then.
Sir?
Your eyes were black the last time I saw you, and now they're like golden brown.
Yeah, I know. It's the fluorescence.
Well, here's to some weird surprises. This movie is apparently so old that a remake is needed ASAP. And there's proof of this because on the Twilight Saga channel, the trailer for their first movie has their highest quality set to 240p.
It's all superhero stuff, right? What if I'm not the hero? What if I'm the bad guy?
What I'm more surprised at is that in 2015, the author for Twilight apparently released another book called Life and Death, Twilight Reimagined, which gender swapped the two main characters. So does that mean that the girl is the vampire and the guy is not? For some reason, that personally does not appeal to me. It's always so freaking creepy when a vampire woman is like super powerful and the guy is like, no, don't eat me. Like, I get there's an appeal for some people like that, but for me as a female who's into like the strong, stoic type people, that's just a big turn off for me. But I guess appealing to the other half of the audience that she doesn't have made sense. Why not? Story is a gender swap retelling of the first book in the Twilight series and introduces Bo Swan and Edith Cullen. Like, I get it. All writers have this, where they're like, okay, what if I tell exactly the same story that made me millions many years ago, but like, you know, make it exactly the same, but this time, the main character is a boy and the vampire's a girl. Huh? All right, well, I'm interested to see what the dumpster fire is going to be. It's either going to be very good or it's going to be freaking bad. And either way, I'm excited to really, are we going to get that in the animation?
May seem strange, really strange, but stranger things happen every day. Trust me.
Feeling a little bit uncomfortable and thirsty at the same time. I'm also going to be mildly intrigued to see how they're going to spin the whole Jacob imprinting on a newborn baby, because that's going to be his future love kind of thing. And doing the same mental gymnastics that the author had to do to explain away why that was okay. But anyway, can't really blame her, because anime did all that stuff first. Anyways, Lionsgate, good luck.